All right, hey VC, how you doing? My name is Jamie. Welcome back, and we are heading back to the garden. So peace and love. We are celebrating Woodstock 50th anniversary as Rhino has released a number of box sets to celebrate the music of the Woodstock Festival. And my box set has arrived in the mail. And no, it is not the 39 disc set that Rhino has released to the tune of $799 US. Although I understand it's selling quite well. I think when I was on the Rhino website, they said they had less than 500 copies, and that one they only made 1,969 or 1969 copies available. And that one reportedly gives you all the music from the 3 day festival, with the exception of three songs. Two of them from Jimi Hendrix that they did not include because the estate didn't want them included. Those were two tracks where Jimmy doesn't sing. And then there's one track that apparently was missing from the Sha Na Na set that has just been lost to time. So those are the three tracks you don't get, but you get everything else apparently on that box set. On the other box set, the 10 CD one, they do include every artist, at least something from every artist that performs. So that's kind of cool. And then I think it's also available on a 2 disc set, and I think maybe a 4 LP set. So this is the 10 CD set that has arrived. Now I've taken it out of the shrink. I was a little concerned that, when I do some of these unboxings that I, take it out and then I show you the, the booklets or something, but I was a little worried that I'd be flipping through it and there might be something not exactly family friendly in there. It turns out there's only one picture that's not exactly family friendly, and it's not even really that bad. So here it is. It has arrived, and we'll take a look inside. And of course, they came on with the shrink, with the hype sticker. I'll show you that. But it came in this nice little kind of burlap-y thing, which is kind of cool. This kind of burlap band, and this just kind of, although even like it's just arrived in already, it's looking like it's not going to last very long. But I thought that was just a nice, cool little thing. It's actual, I don't know how long it's going to last, but I thought that was kind of neat just to look around there. So I'll show you the cover here. Quite nice. And they're calling this the 50th anniversary experience. So this is the 10 CD set, and it's very much in the book form, like that. And then we have this on the back, and this just simply comes right off. It was not glued on or anything like that. It just pops off like this, and then they have it sort of just goes on the inside like that. So just pops off like that. And as I mentioned, I did save, of course, got to save the hype sticker, and I did put it on just the back of this. And the hype sticker simply says, "Back to the Garden, the first Woodstock collection to feature live recordings of every performer at the festival. 10 CDs, 162 tracks, newly remastered audio, includes 64-page booklet with photos and memorabilia, day-by-day artist bios, and essay plus producers introduction." Okay. So there you have that. So we'll put that over there. And let's take a look inside. So again, that's just quite simply that on the back. All right, and let's look at the CDs at the back and see how they're housed, and we'll show you that. So again, no overlapping, and as you may have heard, that I don't like when some of the box sets where they have the CDs in the jewel case or whatever overlapping. They don't do that. They simply house them like that. Quite nice, don't have any problem with that. And I think that's it. I think that's everything we got there. All 10 there. And so yeah, let's take a look at the booklet. And it's in a nice hard case, that's for sure. And that is the picture that they decided to kick things off with. There you go, getting back to the garden. And I think this was the page that had perhaps the slightly inappropriate photo, or at least not family friendly. I shouldn't say inappropriate, not family friendly, shall we say. Okay, and the rest of this really does focus not so much on, a little bit on the people, but a lot, certainly a lot of photos on the artists this time. So lots of essays, lots of stuff to read. Richie Havens kicking off the festival, Jimi Hendrix wrapping up the festival. So much has been written and documented about this festival. Canned Heat looks like there. Joe Cocker with an amazing set. And certainly Joe Cocker, not incredibly well known, at least in the U.S. at this time. Sly and the Family Stone, this was one of their early gigs. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, one of their early gigs. And it is nice to finally, after all these years, at least get something from all of the artists. If that, since the stuff has been available, I guess when the producers did come across it for the 40th, the intent was to actually release it all, but I think some of the stories is that some of the tapes were in very bad condition, so they did want to go over the tapes and try to fix things up, like some of the newspapers there. And something that's interesting with regards to this that you'll see when I was just initially flipping through it, just to make sure that it was all family friendly, is that they have this. This is an insert that's included. So as you can see here, I'll show you that in a bit. They have, the listings of, disc 5 and disc 6 that way. And here they have this insert that says, "We just had a slight change in running order." Of course, that's a chipmunk who would have said that sometime, probably a few times during the course of the weekend. But it says here, disc 5 has 2 additional tracks from Mountain and the Grateful Dead, respectively, not reflected in the book. Here is the revised track listing. So it does correspond. This is correct listing. But in the book, they do have some extra, like one extra track for Mountain, and which is the song, I believe, Long Red, and then one extra track for the Grateful Dead, which I believe is the song High Time. So in the book here, those tracks are missing, so that's nice when you're getting an extra track. Won't complain about that. And interesting that they took the time to actually put that into the booklet as well. So, very nice. Okay. And I think the rest of this is really just the tracks listings, and there you go. There you have it. Back to the garden. Back to Woodstock. 50th anniversary celebration. Okay, now we talked about that this has been the first time that they've at least featured something from all of the artists. I do own the other box sets that came out. Certainly, I was really impressed when this box set initially came out. This was for the Woodstock 40th anniversary. Interesting package overall, and as you can see, I kept it was almost the same idea. This was the cardboard wraparound that I kept, and this gives you all the listings. So this was the first 6-disc set that came along for the 40th anniversary. But what I thought was odd is that when this came out, this is when they were talking about that they did initially have access, or they write about how they had wanted to release everything at the time, but then didn't. Yet when this came out, they didn't have songs from the band and 10 years after, which I thought was a little odd. If their intent was to release everything, then why did they release this without, and they say it's copyright issues, but what was unusual for that is because they have had music from 10 years after previously. Now, they didn't have music from the band on some of the previous Woodstock editions, except with the exception of this one. This is Woodstock. This is the box set that came out for the 25th anniversary collection, 25 years ago already. And so this is a really nice 4-CD box set. But on this one, when this first came out, they include music from both the band and 10 years after. But then when this came along, years later, giving you a lot more music, 6 discs as opposed to 4. Then they didn't include music from the band and 10 years after. So I just found that was a little unusual. So, but this one I still go back to. I think this one overall is a really nice set overall. I'll give you a quick look if you haven't, because you probably don't see this one quite as much. So this was sort of the old style, booklet here. That sort of thing, nice big reading. And then the discs are housed in sort of this nice little jewel case thing, display, often when it had, sort of the hard plastic here, and, when they, of course, pop out quite easily, like that, sort of thing. So, the big LP style case, but no vinyl inside, so there's that. And that one I still really enjoy, and I also do enjoy this one because they do give you a lot of extra tracks, and it's especially I really like the extended stuff that they did from Canned Heat, the inclusion of Woodstock Boogie, which I absolutely love. So there you go. So there's a little bit of back to the garden with Woodstock. So I think we're definitely going to be enjoying this through the summertime and certainly through the month of August. Memories are not so much memories now. I was a very, very, very young person in 1969, and so I didn't obviously go to the festival. That was not even in the cards. I would have been only 4 or 5 years old, that sort of thing. So yeah, that wasn't in the cards. But hey, we've got the music to remember, and we've got the burlap band too. There you go. Thanks for stopping by. We'll chat again. Take care. Bye-bye.